Hey guys, so I've got some very interesting and cool stuff to show you today. You saw the title, right? I may have found a dupe for the Natasha Denona Mini Dream eyeshadow palette. I'm almost certain this is going to work out. I went to Sephora yesterday and I bought the Natasha Denona Mini Dream palette. And somebody stuck their finger in one of the shadows, so this looks messed up because I had to sanitize it. I just take a cotton pad with alcohol and just kind of press it on there to sanitize it, but this one looks messed up too because I did do swatches. I swatched all these colors on my wrist yesterday, and then I swatched the corresponding colors of this, which is the Wet n Wild Always Naked palette. But I mean, look at this. There are dupes in this palette for every single one of these colors. And what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to use one palette on one eye and the other palette on the other eye with the dupe colors. And we're going to see if they look the same. But yeah, I swatched these 5 shades on my wrist yesterday, and then I swatched the 5 that corresponded right underneath. What's really weird about this is usually companies will make dupes for something. The less expensive brand will dupe the more expensive brand, but this Wet n Wild Always Naked palette is not new. It's new to me. I just bought it at Walgreens yesterday. But this has been out for a long time. And then Natasha Denona comes out with a palette that looks like the Wet n Wild one, which, yeah, they are very, very, very similar. So that's what we're going to do. But I also have a couple of other things that I'm going to be using with you today. And the videos were starting to get a little repetitive with the base products and everything. So I already have on all my base products except for I haven't moisturized my lips yet, and I need to do that right now. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil in the shade Honey Talks, which is like a brown, nude type shade. So yeah, I gotta get some lip oil on my lips. My lips are so dry right now. Ah, relief. So I went to a bunch of stores yesterday and I picked up like 2 things at one store, 2 things at another store, 2 things at another store. And I'm going to show you some of the things today, and then the other things I'll show you in future videos. So I've done so far, I did my NYX Pro Fix Correcting Concealer in pink, and then I did the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence in light. And then I did Lacura Bold Cover Concealer, but just under my eyes, not actually on my eyes. We're going to use something different on my eyes as a base today. Then I used CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Foundation in Creamy Natural. Then I used e.l.f. Putty Bronzer Tan Lines. And then I used e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Suave Mauve or Suave Mauve, depending on how you pronounce it. And yeah, I used the stipple with the makeup sponge method again. I feel like that works best. Okay, so The next thing we're going to do is highlighter. And one of the places I went was TJ Maxx. And as I'm sure you've all heard, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics has gone out of business. And I got this Sparks highlighter. Really, really fancy packaging. And this is what the box looks like that it comes in. And this was only $9.99. So for a, fancy high-end highlighter, I thought that was a pretty good deal. And I've never tried any of her face products at all. So it's just a beautiful, like, light gold. Matter of fact, I think this is the lightest highlighter shade in the entire line. This was the only color they had, which is fine. Let's grab a highlighter brush. Wow. Okay. And what I'm going to do, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, going to have to put more on the other side now. Okay, yikes. Let's take a brush and blend that a bit. That doesn't even need to be sprayed with anything. Wow. Wowee. Okay. So that looks pretty crazy. But you know what? When I'm all done with my makeup, I am going to spray it just to see what it looks like wet. Because if it looks like that dry, can you imagine? So, wow. So it's mirrored, and then it has a regular mirror on the inside. So yeah, TJ Maxx, $9.99. And I bought one other thing too. They had Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. Now, when I saw this, I knew that this was not the right shade for me, but I just wanted to get it to try the formula because this shade is LM14, so that's light medium with olive undertone, which is completely wrong for my skin tone, and I know that. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow primer because I just wanted to see like how the coverage was and everything. But yeah, when I saw this color, I was like, well, it's pretty light. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to use it for a concealer for me. This was $14.99, by the way. And that's what the component looks like. But these things were all completely like sealed and taped and everything. So there wasn't any way I could open them and look at them ahead of time. Which is kind of good in a way because then I knew that they wouldn't be swatched. Okay, so I'm going to use this, yeah, as an eyeshadow primer. And I'm just going to put it on the lid and in the crease. And wow, that's got to have like some nice skincare ingredients in it because it feels fantastic on my eye skin. Yeah, that feels really nice. I like to use products sometimes for what they are not intended to be used for, so I've got no problem using this as an eyeshadow primer. And it's like a camel tan color. And I think it will work okay with the eyeshadows that we're going to be using it with. Okay, so while that is drying down a little bit, I'm going to apply my lipstick. This is the e.l.f. O Face Satin Lipstick in the shade Drive, and I thought this would coordinate really nice with these eyeshadow palettes. I would say this is like a mauve or a warm mauve or a rosy nude, maybe, color-wise. Okay. All right, so the concealer is a little bit tacky. I don't think it's going to dry down completely. That's my gut instinct anyway. So let's grab these palettes and see how this works out. Let me show you how there are dupable colors here. So let's start with this shade right here. Okay. Would say this one is pretty darn close. That's the only one that's not like an exact dupe, I would say, but it's really close. And then this shade right here, this one. Okay, right? And then this one here, I would say this one. The third one, okay? And then the brown, it's a matte brown. This one, right? And then this one, right here. Okay, so let's do I'm trying to figure out which one, which we're trying to dupe the Natasha Denona, so I guess it would make sense to do the Natasha Denona eye first. Then we'll go in with the Wet n Wild and try to duplicate the Natasha Denona look. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so this is the lightest shade right here. So I'm wondering, can I use that as a highlight? Yeah, why not? I should be able to. So let's pick some of that up. I have a feeling that's going to apply darker though, but let's try it. We're doing inner corner and we're doing brow bone highlight, okay, with that shade. Then I'm taking a clean brush and we're going to go in to this shade for the crease. And I'm also gonna put a little bit of that in the outer lid area. And just like the other Natasha Denona mini palette that I bought, these are very creamy and blend beautifully. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to take a shader brush and I'm going to go into that shade in the middle. And I'm going to put that in the inner part of my lid. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a let's see. I'm gonna take a larger shader brush and we're gonna go into that first shade in the palette, this one here. And we're gonna put that on the rest of the lid. Layer that right over the center and the outer part. Okay. We're going to set that brush aside and we're going to go in with this small pencil brush and we're going to go into the matte brown now. And I'm going to very lightly drag that along the lower lash line. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the crease shade now. And just put a little more. And in the outer lid area. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brown liquid liner. This is LA Colors Eye Marker in brown. Shake it up. Okay. All right, let's set this aside now. And let's go in to the Wet n Wild Always Naked palette and use all the corresponding colors in on the other eye. And I'm going to use the same brushes. So we're starting off with this one here. And we did that as a brow bone highlight, which is actually too dark of a color to use for that. But that was the lightest shade. I have an idea how we can make that look a little bit prettier when I'm done. Switching to the crease brush now. And that was this shade right here. Oh, wow, these are pigmented, you guys. You wouldn't expect it to be. Oh, this palette, by the way, this Wet n Wild palette was, here's my slip right here. It was $8.99 for this palette at Walgreens. And you get 16 shadows. Okay, so I'm doing this exactly the same way. And I'm going to set that down now and switch to the same brush that I used on the other eye, and make sure that I get the right one here. This is the corresponding shadow. And set that aside, and then switch to this brush. And the corresponding shadow for this one is this one. And we're putting that on the center and outer part of the lid. And then we're going to go into the matte brown shade. And we're going to put a little bit of that under the lower lash line. Okay, and what I did with the other eye was I went back to the crease shade and just added a little more. So I'm going to do the same thing here so that, you know, we're duplicating everything that we did. Okay? And now we're going in with the eyeliner. Okay. Now I think what would look really pretty is if we took a little bit of this Jaclyn Hill highlighter and use that on the brow bone because that other shade is too dark. So let's take a clean brush and then just put this on both eyes. And let's do inner corner. All right, I'm going to fill in my brows and curl my lashes, put mascara on, and then we will evaluate. Okay, so brows are done, mascara is on. I definitely see a difference between the two. Okay. So this is the Natasha Denona, right? This is the Wet n Wild. The crease shade on the Natasha Denona is warmer. So let's take a look. Yes, yes. So they're not exact dupes. Yeah, this shade is warmer than the corresponding color in the Wet n Wild. Just out of curiosity though, if I take some more of the Wet n Wild crease shade, and add more, better, but it's still a cooler color. Now what about the other shades? The other shades all look pretty similar, I think. Okay, so it's not an exact dupe, but if you were just trying to get something very similar, I think that they are pretty close. Yeah, that crease color is what makes the difference though. Okay, now I said I was gonna spray my face so we could see the Jaclyn Hill highlighter, and I also want to spray the eye area too to see what that does with these shadows. Bam. Wow. Okay, so this does not, that highlighter does not need to be sprayed, but if you like that wet look though. And then, yeah, let's look at the eyeshadows and see what the spray did on the eyeshadows. Okay, so the Natasha Denona crease color is definitely, wait a minute, wait just a minute. This one, yeah, this is the Wet n Wild over here, right? Yeah, it's definitely a cooler shade. So that would be the only thing that would not be the same, because the rest of it I think does look the same. So it's up to you whether you think that, you know, if you're just trying to dupe the look, or you may have something in your collection that's a little bit warmer that you could substitute maybe. There is a warmer shade in this Wet n Wild palette, but yeah, it's, I mean, that one is warmer, but it's really not close to the one that I was trying to dupe. So it's up to you. I don't know. I think for the price, I think that, you know, and you might even prefer a cooler crease shade. So that's it, you guys. Hope you enjoyed that little experiment there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.